Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. It's Everton versus City. The last game at Goodison Park because I think, as you all know, Goodison Park is gonna be, they're gonna move into a new stadium for next season. So it's the last game City play here. I mean, Goodison Park has been a tough place to come in the past, to be honest. It's been a tough place in the title races. Now the top four races, no less than title races. In fact, I think it is more important than probably one of the titles you would have won in the past because of where this top four races come in, because of the timeline, basically, because we have to revamp, we have to rebuild a side literally, and for that I think Champions League money will be very very useful, especially you couple that with Club World Cup money and then Champions League money. You could basically, and we have the revenues as well, so you could basically outspend a lot of the other clubs. So Pep emphasized it in his interview as well, how getting into the Champions League is very important. In Chelsea's results against Ipswich was a surprise. I thought they'll somehow win it, even though they were 2-0 down, but thank God they dropped points. I want Newcastle and Chelsea match to be a draw, which will be interesting. When Newcastle play Villa, if Villa win it, it would be interesting. If I just look at the standings, it would be very interesting if Villa are on 54, Chelsea are on 54. Of course, same matches played. City are 55, Forest 57, Newcastle 59. So if Villa win against Newcastle today, Villa's goal difference is very poor. I would say it's +3. So compared to, it's very bad compared to all the other teams. So if Villa win today, I think they will pretty much come in the top five. That probably overtake Chelsea. We have to win. I think Villa win against Newcastle. Newcastle win is not good. Then they almost confirm the top four spot, top five spot. If Villa wins, it would just keep it more interesting. I mean, I would want a draw or a Villa win in the worst case, to be honest. Bayaji, Sierra Bayaji, how are you doing? Baiji says McAtee and Kova punished for scoring in the last game. Why Bernardo starting over McAtee? I just can't get over it, Bayaji. I absolutely cannot get over it. What is this obsession? And the scary thing, Bayaji, is that the Holy Trinity is starting. The Holy Trinity of Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva are starting. The last time they started, if I'm not wrong, it was against Manchester United. And we had a shitty game. I mean, how can you not score against that United side when teams like Lyon are scoring fives against them? When other city teams in the Europa League are scoring twos and threes against them. The Holy Trinity is back. Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, and Gundogan. My God. I thought at least Oscar Bob would start on the right, Savinho probably on the left, or probably De Bruyne playing as a striker, come false nine, Marmoush on the left, probably Oscar Bob on the right. Gundogan probably could play. I liked how we played against Palace, to be honest, the lineup, even though we went 2-0 down early on. Gundogan played as a cam, and then Gonzalez and Kovacic offering him protection. Gundogan cam. De Bruyne almost played as that false nine role, something, and Marmoush was cutting in from the left, McAtee on the right. I think that was brilliant. I don't know why you want to play Bernardo Silva in there. That too of the left. Why do you want to try Bernardo Silva off the left? Bayaj says Edison has missed way too many games this season. Time to find a new number one. I mean, there was an interesting article by on goal.com or somewhere where they were telling Edison fears this might be his end at City, to be honest, due to injuries and stuff. He fears he might not be the number one next season. Interesting. I think we might be in the market for a keeper, but then no news of that. I think there are priority positions to Phil ahead of that. Baiji says McAtee has much better positioning sense than Savio and Doku. We never those two in the position which McAtee was in the best game. Exactly, Bayaji, exactly. You know, the composure McAtee shows, the runs he makes, the work rate he gives. One striking thing in the match against Palace was the 1-2 touch passes which McAtee is playing. I mean, there were times when Gundogan gave the ball to McAtee, McAtee gives it back to De Bruyne, one touch, two touch passing, and they move forward. Marmoush is involved, they move forward. But whereas I see Savio and I see Doku, it's the same thing. They take the ball. You know, Savio and Doku behave like, you know, even young kids. They play with the football in the ground. If they just want to keep the ball, they don't want to pass the ball, they just want to keep the ball and they want to score the goal. That's how Savio and Doku behave for me. They are not passing at all, which means when Savio has the ball, the defenders can come in towards Savio knowing he will not pass the ball, or Doku he will just try to dribble up on him and done. That's it. It is so interesting with how McAtee played one touch passing. Suddenly, the football seemed so fluid. I mean, I thought maybe we could see when Oscar Bob right, McAtee left, or Oscar Bob left, McAtee right, Marmoush in the center, something like that. You know, that would have been superb. Both, I don't know what to do with this Doku and Savinho. Both keep the ball for way too long. I mean, there was an interesting news. Jack Gone of Daily Mail. Jack Gone is is said to be almost on the tier of David Ornstein. You know, when it comes to City news, is very close to City, and he has said that Morgan Gibbs White is one of City's primary targets. And I was surprised because I thought it could be the words or Morgan Gibbs White, but apparently they want Morgan Gibbs White for the number 8 role, for the box to box role. This is again very interesting. That's a very interesting thing. For the box to box role, I thought probably someone like a Hugo Larson or a Tejani Reinders. I was watching Tejani Reinders' gameplay yesterday and he was just super excellent with the ball. I think he's going to become the next big thing in world football. Complete midfielder Tejani Reinders. Why are we going for Morgan Gibbs White? He's English, he'll be overpriced. I mean, what is it that Morgan Gibbs White, what is it that Grealish can't do and Morgan Gibbs White can do? I mean, there are other things out of football which Grealish can do, of course, but generally Morgan Gibbs White. I mean, I don't know this obsession about Morgan Gibbs White, to be honest. I mean, again, you have Nico O'Reilly in there who could be who's a natural eight. You don't want to play Nico O'Reilly, but you want to play Nico O'Reilly at left back and by Morgan Gibbs White for around, they're asking 100, City might end up paying 80 million something. Why do you want, instead pay 60 million for Tejani Reinders? He seems elite on the ball, is the next, is a Gundogan region. It reminded me of watching Gundogan from the Dortmund years and is better than that at the same age. Bring in Hugo Larsson or Tejani Reinders. I don't understand this. Now I'm getting concerned about Morgan Gibbs White, to be honest. Especially with Jargon mentioning about it. Everton are already on the attack very early in the half. That's a great cross in. And Stefan Ortega does extremely well to pick it up. Bhaiya ji says, महंगा रोए एक बार words सस्ता रोए बार बार. Nunes, Phillips, and now Morgan Gibbs White. the, I still think the Nunez one by Ajay is, but that was great. Mahenga roye ek bar, sasta roye bar bar. Wow, great comment. But I think Nunez still, I think there's some potential, especially to be a bench player and stuff. Nico Riley on the ball. Come back to that. Nico Riley on the ball there. That is excellent there. That is wonderful. Uh, as excellent from City. Nico O'Reilly just looks last. So with Matthews Nunes, I still think there's some potential to play it right back, not in midfield, to play it right back, probably a bench player. Not a starter, probably a bench player, but I see potential. Calvin Phillips was what? Calvin Phillips cost us this season, I would say. If you look at it, Calvin Phillips cost you this season. There's no doubt about it. Because if Calvin Phillips turned out to be a very good DM, you would not have uh, you would not have experienced the loss of Rodri, which meant your season would be, you could be competing with Liverpool. Liverpool ain't that good. Arsenal ain't that good. Arsenal just sitting back and beating Real Madrid, and they're bloody comparing it with their Etihad performance. Stupid from Arsenal. Yes, they beat Madrid, but it was nowhere as dominant as what we did to them at the Etihad. They're just sitting back, hitting them on the break, free kicks, all of those things. Arsenal. I would like to see Oscar Bob start. The pressing has been immaculate today, but Everton's play through the press has also been good. To be honest, the referees done the game well till now. Look at that, the holy trinity. Gundogan giving the ball away. Kevin De Bruyne with the ball. This is an easy pass. He has to play. Bernardo Silva, Bernardo Silva, Bernardo Silva. Slow Bernardo Silva ain't got the pace yet. Bernardo Silva, he had to run faster there. He was on side. I don't know why he just backed out there. I don't think Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, and Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne cannot play in the midfield, and now Bernardo Silva is also kind of drifting into the midfield. So the holder has to be Casemiro in his prime. Pass it wide, pass it wide. Ruben Diaz had just, faked it and didn't do anything literally. City are all over Everton, which is expected to be honest. It's not a big prediction that City will set up camp in Everton's half. Armanda Broja is there. Probably another Chelsea reject, if I can call him that, to be honest. I think how good is your creativity? I think that is what will decide this game, to be honest. Now they are calling this the run in, not for the title race because they know the title race is over. They're calling the top four race, the top five race, the run in. Wow. And they say that City made the title race boring. The 1 year we are not in it, look at how boring the title race is, to be honest. What a ball! Ah, for a moment I thought, what a ball. It's almost like it's high in the night sky, and you think the ball's going for a six, only for the fielder to settle underneath it. Bernardo Silva with the ball. He just can't. Just come in a moment, guys. So, I'm sorry for that, but Gautam is here. He says, "Hey there, citizens. Hey Gautam, how you doing?" Gautam says, "Everton have drawn their last four home Premier League matches, their longest run since February 2015. They've never drawn five home league games in a row. And you know what else, Gautam? The Holy Trinity is starting today. The Holy Trinity is starting today. Bernard De Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and Ilkay Gundogan. How can you start? How can you not give James McAtee a start when he's played so well? And how can you give Bernardo Silva starts when he's throwing stinker after stinker after stinker? How were you able to give Kyle Walker starts when he's throwing stinker after stinker after stinker? I don't understand this. Gautam says the last failed to score in three away games in a row in December 2015 under Manuel Pellegrini. And I think that was Pellegrini's last season as well, right? 2015 was when Leicester won the league, and I think if we could have won the league trophy that year, if the news didn't come in that Pep was joining and all of that stuff, I think once the news came in, then all of the players just lost the motivation and stuff to. But I don't know, with the Holy Trinity playing it suddenly very, very slow. Savinho wants to keep the ball, Bernardo Silva wants to keep the ball. There's absolutely no one touch passing here. Nico O'Reilly does absolutely well. Nico O'Reilly does brilliantly well there on Jack Harrison. By the way, Gautam, have you heard this news? Jack gone yesterday put out a tweet that City are looking at Jack gone of Daily Mail put out a tweet that City are looking at Morgan Gibbs White. I mean, not looking at City's priority target is Morgan Gibbs White, and I'm surprised because I thought probably a Florian Wirtz alternative for the 10 position. No, they want Morgan Gibbs White to play in the 8 position, to play in the box to box role. This is interesting. This is very interesting because I thought there were much better players than Morgan Gibbs White at a lower price to play that role. There is Tejani Reinders of AC Milan, Hugo Larsson of Bayer Leverkusen, who are much, much better and lower priced than Morgan Gibbs White. Just Gautam says since David Moyes' return game as Everton came on 15 January, only Liverpool and Arsenal have lost fewer PL games than the Toffees, who have taken 21 points in his 13 games this season. 5 wins and 6 draws. I mean, defensively as well, they've been so good in that second half of the season. I think two managers, Oliver Glasner of Crystal Palace, they started very poorly. I thought he would be sacked. But immaculate record, especially from October, November, something. I think they didn't lose an away game before they played us. They were brilliant defensively. And I think David Moyes as well. What Sean Dyche did was just focus on the defense, and what David Moyes did is give the attack some teeth as well. So now Everton just looks much more balanced. And I think David Moyes released Illiman and DR, to be honest, which Daesh is not able to do. And against Liverpool as well, Everton was superb. The 2-2 draw. And I think they lost 1-0 narrowly, which they should have won. Beto went through on goal and didn't do anything. Now the slow Bernardo Silva cannot even complete a pass to Kevin De Bruyne. Why the fuck are you playing Bernardo? What the hell was that? Gautam says Morgan Gibbs White is overrated, to be honest. I mean, they're asking 100 million, Gautam. You just compare it. Tejani Reinders is available for 60 million. AC Milan have publicly told 60 million euros for Tejani Reinders. 60 million for Tejani Reinders. 60 million Hugo Larson will be available around about 60-65. Why do you want Morgan Gibbs White? So that you can start a local WWE competition with Rodri, Manchester. I also feel he's overrated actually, Morgan Gibbs, but I haven't seen anything specific in him to say you go for him over others. And by the way, Florian Wirtz, it seems Bernardo Silva with the ball one on one. Bernardo Silva again has to find Kevin De Bruyne, first time ball. Uh, I don't know what Savinho has done there. But yeah, Florian Wirtz has come out. I think Bild was reporting today. Was it a penalty appeal or something? It's not a penalty. Come on, Seven, get up. Bild was reporting today that Florian Wirtz prefers a Real Madrid as first destination, then City, and the last is Bayern. And again, they're telling Xavi Simons could be an alternative to Florian Wirtz. City are monitoring him. Ada Guller would be a very interesting option to look at. Bernardo Silva, what a ball to Savinho there. Savinho to Josko Guardiola. Nico Riley, Ruben Diaz. What a good shot that was. I think it was Ruben Diaz with the strike. Matthews Nunes actually with the strike. Good strike from Matthews Nunes. Very good strike. You know, you can strike them well. Gagam's words is not made up his mind, and his family wants him to go to Bayern. With words again, Gautam, one thing for me with words is it might end up with what happened with Leroy Sané. Even if we get him in the positive situation, we get him. I think after 3 years, when he's not picked for the German national squad for the next World Cup, he will go back to Bayern because that's what they do. Kevin De Bruyne, we it's a must-win game for us to be honest again because Villa might win against Newcastle and then climb Ebbers and all of that. If we win this game, we'll put Forest under a lot of pressure to be honest. Forest and Chelsea. Nunez, the fullbacks have been the best players in this game, both Nunez and Nico Riley. Gautam says KBD might not leave PL. It will be very difficult to watch him in another jersey than City. Exactly. I mean, the ideal scenario would have been KDB going to MLS, but then it has happened with great players, right? Especially Lampard, Peter Schmeichel in the past. I don't know why is Savio slipping so much today? Savio has been the worst player on the pitch. I mean, check his passport. He's really Brazilian. Zero creativity. We have been very good defensively. Stability is superb with Guardiola playing in the middle, but creatively we have been absolutely shit. Gautam says we need wingers as well in the summer, and that to established ones, not future prospects. We need at least one winger, Gautam, because we have Oscar Bob for one wing. Again, I think it depends on the system which Pep wants to play, because what I'm hearing is Pep is almost looking to play a fingerless system from next season. I mean, what Pep wants to do is, I mean, these are the reports. Again, we'll only know it in the summer transfer window, but the reports are Pep wants to have both his fullbacks as the attacking options, almost like how not Trent does for Liverpool. So fullbacks, Trent and Robertson for Liverpool. So fullbacks, and then he wants inverted forwards, which means Marmos will be a left forward, Haaland strike, of course. Oscar Bob could be a right forward. They say that is the plan. So what the reports are telling is Pep wants to move away from this traditional winger system. So it might not suit the likes of people like Doku, Semenyo, and Rafinha, for example. I think, to be honest, when you move away from that wingerless system. And they say what Pep wants to do is he wants to pack the midfield with more defensive minded players. Again, a lot of transfer activity will depend on the system that Pep is going for, and I think Pep will go with a new system. I think something which could be innovative, which is not we have not seen until now. Gautam says Rafinha is in the market. I doubt we'll go for him because Gautam, I think our priorities right now are a box to box player, De Bruyne replacement. We have to buy a left back and a right back, Walker's replacement, Bernardo Silva's replacement. And I think even if you count these four, and I think what do you do about John Stones? What do you think about the Champions League, Gautam? What do you think about it? Who's the favorite to win it? I just can't understand how we could not beat that City Madrid team. Prime City would have demolished them. Gautam says Gundo and Bernardo not leaving this summer. Gundo, I think it's an extended contract, but Bernardo, I expect him to leave. Expect Bernardo to leave, to be honest. I do not want to see Gundo, Bernardo staying in De Bruyne leaving. Instead, keep it the opposite. Let Bernardo leave and let De Bruyne stay honestly. Gotham says we couldn't beat Madrid because we were shittier. My bad, Gautam, for asking that question because we could not beat Manchester United, who Leon, teams like Leon and all others, even teams like Wolves and Leicester are scoring 2 goals against them, and we could not score a single goal against Manchester United. If we cannot beat the shitty Manchester United, then what chance do we have against Real Madrid, right? We were shittier than them, you're right. And also, it's not like Arsenal were super good. It's just that Arsenal were the less of the shittier team. Because you look at the goals they scored, they were of free kicks, mostly I think 2 goals of free kicks, and then yeah, it wasn't like they were opening Madrid up and stuff. And I think it's the Mbappe curse. But Tejani Reinders is a very, very interesting one. Probably think we should have a look at him. He looks like an exact Gundogan replica. How Gundogan was at 22, 20 years of age, to be honest. Kaundinya is here. Hey, Kaundinya, how are you doing? He says, nice thumbnail. Thank you, Kaundinya. Just tried something different today. Hoping that will City will score first because we have not scored first in the last. I don't know when we scored first. Probably in the last decade. So just hoping for a change. But then Pep Guardiola had other things in mind. He wanted to play the Holy Trinity today. Holy Trinity of Bernardo, De Bruyne, and Gundogan in the midfield. But honestly, Gautam, looking at it, it's we were shittier than Madrid, and honestly, Arsenal were not that good compared to Madrid. Any other Madrid side in the past would have beaten them. It's just that Madrid were shitty, we were shittier. I mean, people this season are seeing Manchester United at 17th, 16th, and then seeing us at 4th, 5th, that thing. But I don't think we are any better than Manchester United this season, honestly. And bloody hell, you see this. Arsenal defeated Manchester United. Sorry, Arsenal defeated Real Madrid, but Arsenal could not defeat Manchester United, a 10-man Manchester United. What a ball! Pickford was early to it. Just, I bet you if Arsenal play Manchester United in a cup final or a cup semi final now, I think Arsenal get beat by teams like Manchester United and even Tottenham as well this season. I don't know what is it. Gautam says Madrid have never beaten Arsenal, but I think they've played Arsenal only once or twice. I think before this, right? And I think Madrid will not mind that record. I mean, before today, because Madrid have never beaten Arsenal, and Arsenal have never won the Champions League, and Madrid have won how many, 16 of them or whatever. I don't even know the count. And this game is bloody boring as fuck. Brentford opened the scoring against Brighton. Mbomo scores. Everton are looking more likely to score. Everton are looking more livelier there. City are looking in apps. I just don't want to say this, I'm sorry, but we are looking absolutely shit creatively. Why do you want to remove James McAtee and bring in Bernardo Silva? Absolutely beyond me. Good defending there for Matthews Nunes. It's a goal kick. Excellent defending there. He headed it onto the shoulder of Mikalenko. Excellent defending. I actually thought the teams on this side of the Champions League draw, which is the A side, if you can call it, which are Madrid, Arsenal, Villa, PSG. This side is tough, but I think if you just analyze in hindsight, I think the B side is much tougher. Where you have, I just saw Barcelona playing, they're playing some immaculate one-touch football. Inter Milan are playing exceedingly well. Their counter-attack with Thuram, Lautaro Martinez, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. I don't know why I think like this, but I think the winner of the Champions League will come from the B side. City are defending deep now. We have been defending since the last 5 minutes. This is a game we can't lose. That's a foul. Nico Riley has again been spotless. Gautam says, well, I have a doubt about signings of a contracted player. If a team wants to sell a player but he's not ready, can a team force him out and sell? They can't, Gautam. Obviously they can't. They can't. Because I think if he has a 5 year contract, let's say for example, and the team decides in the second season, well, he is not what we actually require, and the team finds him a good deal, but the player refuses to move. The team can't do anything. The team has to bear with him. I think Calvin Phillips is a prime example. That's excellent defending because if City had that power, then I think they would have just sold him out. But then again, I think I thought that almost went in. Good header from Roha there. And Roha is actually a good goal scorer. I think he played for Burnley last season and he was actually good. He is much better than all the shit that Chelsea have, to be honest. Especially that balloon blowing Nkunku. Gautam says because if a player wants to go out and his team is not letting him go, he usually accepts his fate. Again, I think Mahrez is an example with this because Leicester were not letting him go when we wanted to sign him, and he was just that hit the bar. Everton on the brink. Everton on the brink. There, what the shit are we playing? Everton on the brink. So Mahrez was then throwing tantrums and stuff, and Leicester had to make him leave. And I think on the first part, I think when if a team wants to send him out for cutting wages or whatever the reason, player does not want to go. Generally, what the team does is I think they isolate him from training and stuff. So and they send him to train with the under 23s and all and stuff, and he doesn't get into the match day squad. A lot of those things happen, and then the player knows that he will be stagnated there. I think generally football players, unless they're in the later age, I think they would want to play as much as possible just to stay sharp. That's why when they leave, when the club tells their intention to sell him, I think most of the time. But again, absolute shite in terms of attacking. I won't blame the defenders here. We've shown nothing in terms of attacking wise. Long balls, which Everton want, bloody long balls. That's it. Are we even gonna get top five? especially with we gonna get top five. I'm just scratching my head here trying to understand the purpose of Bernardo Silva playing this game. Bloody hell, play Doku on the left and Savinho on the right. You want, but why are you playing Bernardo Silva? Kevin De Bruyne with the free kick. It will be City year one, I'm sure. It's a free kick to Everton. We have been absolutely shelled this half. I think it was Gautam who mentioned that we need a goal to kickstart everything. We need a goal from the opposition to kickstart everything. So I think probably Everton needs to score for us to again get into our rhythm. Palace, we needed Palace to score two to absolutely wake up. On the streams of rival channels, there were even comments when Palace went 2-0 up in 25th minute or something very early on that have they poked the beer too early? Why did they wake up an awaking? Why did they wake up a sleeping giant too early? 61% possession for one shot on target. Lady, absolute hell. Bernardo does well here. That's a foul. The games are all a bit dull today. I don't know why. Everything is nil-nil. Except the Brentford game where it's 1-0 Brentford against Brighton. Everton are again racing on there. Nunez is wonderful from Nunez. That is world class what is doing there one on one defending. Excellent from Matthews Nunez. Now, how do we break this Everton defense? It's not even like they're sitting on the edge of the box and we are peppering them with shot after shot. They are attacking us. In fact, we are the ones who are defending. So I just don't know. Nico O'Reilly one on one. Nico O'Reilly one on one. Nico O'Reilly does exceptionally well there. Bernardo Silva, Ikai Gundogan, Savinho. Gautam says, well, honestly, we don't deserve top five. Gautam, the problem is, do Chelsea deserve top five? Especially when they, I mean, do Chelsea deserve top five? Especially when they cannot. This season they've not beaten Ipswich home and away. I think they lost to Ipswich away and they drew with them at home. Do Chelsea deserve top five? We do not deserve top five, but there are shittier teams below us as well that do not even deserve nothing. I think one team that really deserves top five is Nottingham Forest, and how fate could play out is they are the ones who might be kicked out. Honestly, it's in the quality. I think for them it's again the quality because did Chelsea deserve the 2021 that year Champions League? Did Real Madrid deserve the Champions League? I think there was a season after that where Madrid were very lucky in every game, and against Liverpool they had 20 shots faced and Vinicius Junior got one shot and he scored. Did Madrid deserve that? I don't think so. Gautam says Villa and Newcastle with Forest. The problem with that is Gautam, Villa play Newcastle, Villa play Forest. And I think Newcastle play Forest. I think they play against each other, which means points will be dropped. That is the biggest advantage here right now. That is our biggest advantage. I think it's another corner. It will be a free kick. Sorry, it will be a throw in. Except us, I think all the teams at the top are playing each other, which is what makes me a little bit more, confident kind of. But again, if we play like this, we don't even deserve the bloody top 10. What did Matthews Nunes do there? Was it a foul throw or something? Yes, I think it was a foul throw. Everything is dull today. I don't know why. Just I think I said it before, but I have to say it again. All the games are nil-nil. JSK is here. JSK says you are absolutely right, Mohan, about Galactico 2.0 is set up is set to fail. Especially with Mbappe, I think. And I think yes, the biggest problem there was I think last season when Madrid did so well, I think Jude Bellingham was decor into the box, decor into the box. That is brilliant defending there. It's a goal kick. Nico O'Reilly is looking like he's the best left back in world football right now. He is just superb. Well, it was Joshua Guardiola, but Nico O'Reilly was also very good. The challenge earlier on. But for me, the difference, many people yes can say Mbappe came, Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo don't fit together, sell one and all of that. But for me, the difference is Jude Bellingham against Arsenal. Where did you play Jude Bellingham? You played Jude Bellingham on the left. You played Jude Bellingham on the right. How much time? If you look at his heat map, there's hardly any touches in the middle of the park. Last season, when you compare it, no striker. Vinicius was playing wide, Rodrigo was playing wide, Bellingham was running through the center, making those late runs and all of that stuff. Biggest reason. And they thought that Raul Asensio could play a long ball and Mbappe could run and score well. The opponents are not idiots. And they were bloody comparing Mbappe to Haaland. How can you even compare? Mbappe has how many Champions Leagues does Mbappe have? Haaland first season, what did he do? Won a treble. Mbappe first season, won an egg. That to a round egg. Where is the egg? I don't know. Gautam says, well, it's still not complete. Galactico 2.0 yet. Arnold, Saliba, and maybe words yet to enter. Again, I was actually having that's a great outside of the food. I thought it was great, but honestly, it went out. Good try from De Bruyne. But I was having a discussion about this Gotham Galactico 2.0 with a friend, and my argument is, okay, you buy words, okay, you buy Trent Arnold, right? The problem is, what are you going to do to Jude Bellingham? Where are you going to play Jude Bellingham then? Let's imagine Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo are there, the front three. And then you're buying words. Words is generally a central player. That's the only space for him. What are you going to do to Jude Bellingham? Jude Bellingham ain't a left midfielder, right midfielder, and stuff. Again, excellent defending from Nico O'Reilly. Savinho this time covering him. Nico O'Reilly held his position well there, which allowed Savinho to come back. Superb there. The defending on our left hand side has been exceptional. So just think it's with Real Madrid, it's the Mbappe conundrum for me because you just remove Kylian Mbappe from this side. That's a great ball. It has to be 1-0. Ah, what a block! What a block that is from O'Brien. Wow, what a block that is from Jack O'Brien. No one was stopping it from being 1-0. Wow, Matthews Nunes back to Kevin De Bruyne. Jack O'Brien, wow, what a strike there from Jack O'Brien. Fantastic. What a block, exactly. It was almost in slow motion. You were waiting for the net to bulge, and suddenly Jack O'Brien came back. Gautam says, well, did you hear the news about Perez that he wants Haaland if Vinicius leaves? But maybe then they'll shift Mbappe to the left and Haaland in the middle, but Haaland ain't gonna leave to Real Madrid. I'm sorry, he ain't gonna go to Real Madrid anytime now. But that's the thing, Gautam. If you remove Mbappe from this team, I think this team would have been very close in La Liga and would have thrashed Arsenal. Clearly, just imagine Rodrigo and Vinicius out as the two wide forwards and Bellingham running through. How do you even mark them? This game is just, I mean, this is interesting. None of the teams who scored except Brentford. I mean, four matches are going on and only one goal scored. But what a block that was from Jack O'Brien there. Wow, superb. Who do you guys think are the favorites for the Champions League? What do you think, Gautam? Who's your favorite for the Champions League? For me, I think the winner of Barcelona versus Inter will be the favorite, to be honest. Go on and win it. Wow, half time, and this has to be one of the most boring games of football you would have watched. Look at them. Look at the broadcasters. They're telling this is the run in. Well, then what about the title race? And what they complain is City are making this title race boring. And now they're calling the top five race the run in. Shameless idiots. But again, one of the absolute boring halves of football, I would say. Literally, absolutely boring. Nothing in it. Absolutely nothing in it, to be honest. I mean, Savinho, Bernardo, there's no one-touch passing like we had against Palace. No pressing. I mean, have you looked at the intensity of pressing? Absolutely gone. Absolutely nothing. Bayaji says lifeless all around, nothing to talk about. Winning combo change has dampened the last game rhythm. Bayaji, the difference between Palace game and this was even the Palace scored those early two goals. You could see the pressing, you could see the brightness. The press was intense. Now I think we cannot expect the holy trinity of De Bruyne, Bernardo, and Gundogan to press. Gundogan doesn't press nowadays. Bernardo is asking what is press? Is it iron press? And something like that. Is it pressing my clothes? What does press mean? That's what Gundogan's that's what Bernardo Silva is telling. I think bringing Bernardo Silva in has just dampened everything out. To be honest, bringing Bernardo Silva in has just dampened everything out. And then in the midweek we have a match against Aston Villa as well. That is at home, but still, I think literally it is five finals that we have to face. To be honest, five finals is what we are facing. To be honest, this is the 33rd game weekend, and we are playing like absolute shite. But yeah, this is our wingers hardly went into the box with the ball at their feet. Why Bernardo Silva was playing as if he's a midfielder. The entire wing was empty. You could have took a motorbike onto the field, and you could have just rode it down the wing and no one would have even obstructed it. Because the wing was empty, no one was in the wing. If you look at the touch map is very interesting. If you look at the touch map, if you look at the touch map, I think Matthews Nunez would have gone into the wing much more than I'll just see if I can bring the touch map in. That would be very interesting. Let's see what I can do with the touch map, to be honest. We can get one. This is interesting. Let's see. Brighton Brentford are 1-1, to be honest. Danny Welbeck scores. And there's a red card in the Palace game. Wow, Chris Richards gets second yellow. It's a red card. But anyway, I'll just see if we can. If we can get the touch maps. But City away form this season has been absolutely abysmal. I mean, it's not like the home form has been good as well. Even the home form has not been as good, but somehow we managed to drag it along. But I just, yeah, I think I'll just we'll just look at the touch maps. To be honest, I'll just see if I can get it on the screen because yeah, look at Bernardo Silva's touch map here. I mean, he's going down the wing, but then you look at his hotspots. Look at his bloody hotspots. Where are they? Almost in our defensive areas. There's something near the goal, but that's it. It's almost outside of the box. Look at how little Bernardo Silva has gone into the box. Now you see the same with Savinho. This is the Savinio one. Look at it. Where is his heat map? His heat map is almost at the center circle line on the wing, which means he's not able to go into the box. I mean, Marmoush will be very interesting for me. Omar Marmoush. When I put up Omar Marmoush, I don't know what the hell is this, but yeah, this is the touch map of Omar Marmoush. Look at it. He is meant to be the striker, but where is his heat map? Omar, nothing in the box. Then who the bloody hell has been in the box? Probably Kevin De Bruyne. Let us see Kevin De Bruyne's heat map. Yeah, brightly. So look at it. Kevin De Bruyne is the one who touched the ball most in the box. Omar Marmoush has not touched the ball in the box. Only De Bruyne, that's it. The most interesting thing here will be Gundogan's heat map. Just look at Gundogan's heat map. Well, these are the heat maps of the Holy Trinity. Bernardo, Gundogan, and De Bruyne are there. Look at their heat maps. Nothing in the box except Kevin De Bruyne. This is just absolute lifelessness. Bayaji says somebody rightly said that Bernardo has perfected the art of looking busy while doing nothing. Only Pep knows on what merits he keeps starting games. It's the Bayaji, it's the same merits that Kyle, like, it's the same merits that Kyle Walker has started the games, even though he was shit. It's the same merits that Bernardo Silva starts games. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, McAtee easily could have had 4 goals in that Palace game. It's not that McAtee didn't score the 4 goals, but for me, James McAtee at least got into positions. These idiots, these fuckers are not even getting into positions. I've shown you the heat maps there of our strikers. I'll remove the Gundogan one and I'll remove the Bernardo one and I'll show you Omar Marmoush one. Get the heat map of Omar Marmoush. Nothing in the box. Kevin De Bruyne, only player in the box. Savinho heat map, nothing in the box for Savinho. Absolutely nothing in the box. Look at it. Of 11 players, only De Bruyne is entering the box. That's it. I probably think Nico O'Reilly would be having. Look at it. Nico O'Reilly is having a better heat map than Savinho in terms of wing play. Look at the heat map of Nico O'Reilly is there, but where has Savinho's play been concentrated? I mean, you look at Savinho's heat map and you'll understand that he's more active in a defensive area. I mean, am I missing something? Is Nico O'Reilly the left back or is Savinho our left back? Am I bloody missing something? Because for me, Savinho has defended much better than any of our defenders today. Getting back, I think it's time to buy a new winger and our left back can be Savinho. He's comfortable coming into the midfield, can dribble, has all the qualities that Pep has. What idiots! Absolute idiots. Gautam says this game needs a Doku, Bob, and McAtee. I think in the 91st minute, you're probably gonna get Mateo Kovacic being subbed on, and that's it. Yeah, by this is Bob again missing from lineup. Is he there in the subs? Well, I have to check. Well, I have to check that because I took it for granted that Oscar Bob would be in the lineup, and I was thinking he'll start for Aston Villa, but then I'll have to. I mean, will be in the subs. I didn't see the subs because I thought they will be the use. I mean the they will be the normal ones. But let's see. I mean, that's interesting. Didn't notice it. It was a given. I thought Bob will would have been in the substitutes bench. Let's actually see uh, the lineups. City. Carson, Lewis, Kusanov, Kovacic, Grealish, Foden. Yes, there's no Oscar Bob. Fuck it. There's no Oscar Bob. You're right. Right, Bayaji. There's no Oscar Bob. Gautam says, I know you and you're watching the stream. So please do the needful. No, Bob. It surprised me, Gautam. It surprised me there's no Oscar Bob. Honestly. Gautam says Pep again said today he likes small squads. India's purposefully build a small squad. That's for the past, Gautam, because I think from next season you're consistently going to have a club World Cup, which is I think at least will be 1.5 months to 1 month to 1.5 2 months in the summer. Players will be going for Euros and all. If they are not every summer, there'll be a club World Cup, and you look at the increased Champions League format where the group matches are increased to what 7 or 8 matches roughly. Yes, I think it's 7 or 8 matches. So just think we need a big squad. We absolutely need a big squad. Champions League formats increased. You want to win all of the cups, Carabao Cups, FA Cups, and all. Bayern is almost like Pep pushing the likes of McAtee out of the club. I don't know why he does that, to be honest. Why he does that? Because McAtee is such a nice lad and he looked very good as well. I mean, I'm still sitting here and I'm gutted and I'm thinking, what has Bernardo Silva done that McAtee has not done? Footballing wise, at least. If there's something else, hands down. But at least footballing wise, I think we are back, to be honest. I'll just reset the scorecard, but I don't understand what has McAtee done and Bob. I mean, sorry, what has Bernardo done and McAtee not done? Let's look at what the score is in the IPL match as well. I think Bayaji's team is playing today, RR, and I think Bayaji's team RR is playing today, and yeah, he would maybe be having a bit of a difficult time juggling between both the screens, or maybe he would be having one and mobile and also watching the other one TV or laptop screen, watching this shit game, City game. The table will be very interesting if RR win today, honestly. Gautam says, well, Salah and VVD signed their contracts. Again, Gautam, that could be a big mistake or it could be a master move. You just don't know because could work two ways, especially with, Salah. To be honest, you just never know with such pacey players, especially with age getting on. Just never know. Again, I feel we just let Mahrez move on too early. That's always something that stings me. We let Mahrez move on too early because imagine right now Riyad Mahrez could have easily got into the team ahead of your Bernardo Silva, Savios, Dokus and all. That Mahrez one still stings me, to be honest. One thing, Gautam, what I want is no John Stones signing a new contract or Stones extending his bloody always injured. Bayaji says RR are hopeless. No chance of winning IPL ever again unless Shane Warne resurrects from his grave. I, I just think, but especially about RR and also about MI. I feel this a little bit, but especially about RR. They've gone with an Indian batting core, just a bit away from football, but they've gone that Indian batting core of Jaiswal, Samson, Dhruv Jurel, and all. I think they just hit Mar in a top five. Mar the only foreigner in a top five sort of thing. I think once this group gels together a little bit more, once they figure out the combinations, I think next season it will be better. But yeah, one thing I would say is Jafra Archer is not the Jafra Archer of the past, literally. Ortega does well. Ortega saves the blushes. Ortega bloody saves the blushes again. To be honest, City should have been 2-0 down. City should have absolutely been 2-0 down. So just think Jofra Archer has just not, at least till now, has not worked out. Gundogan does well. Gautam says Stones, Ake, Grealish, even Akanji needs to go, to be honest. I think I would keep Ake and Akanji, to be honest. Gautam, no Stones because he's injured too much, but I would keep Ake and Akanji and I would groom Jumbaba, Callum Doyle, who will come back. Probably, I think you can let Ake go, and I think you can groom someone like a Jumbaba. Sorry, someone like a Callum Doyle because he's also left-footed and all of that. What the fuck? We are doing some last touch shit defending here. What the hell are we playing? What the hell are we playing? To be honest, Gautam says the new gen is ready. They just need a chance. Exactly. Especially what we saw with Nico Riley. Jacob Wright, I thought should have been given a chance, but he was not. Oscar Bob is there. McAtee is there. Foden's already come through. Divine Masaka has time. I know. Callum Doyle is there. Ortega does extremely well. Gautam says scrappy football started with panic mode activated. The final nail in the coffin, the final evidence of panic mode activated, Gautam will be us putting crosses into the box. Phil Foden's, that is almost a very good ball there. I just needed to stick. I think actually look at it, the only thing we're trying to do is long ball from the keeper. That's it. Long ball from the keeper. That's it. We are not able to do anything else. Bloody long ball from the keeper, and that's all. Nothing other than that. Bayaji says Pep must improve our defense significantly next season. Arsenal only conceded 1 over 180 minutes while we letting six. I honestly think, Bayaji, if the first half of the season, most of the defense was shit because where were the goals coming from for the opposition? Kyle Walker, he single handedly made our defense shit. When Gautam said Liverpool re-signed Salah and Van Dijk, my first thought was, well, it's not straightforward. They could easily end up in a situation like Kyle Walker and Bernardo Silva because the Van Dijk relies a bit on pace and stuff. He's a very muscular, dynamic defender. Salah, of course, it relies on pace and stuff. Suddenly, a season like the Walker season could come, and your club has to and the club has to bear that for the entire season. I think defensively Kyle Walker screwed us over, and then we got Kushanov and all, and they needed 1 or 2 games to adjust. But I think Ever since Guardiola has moved to centre back, I think our defense is looking much more solid. I think Diaz and Guardiola as the centre back partnership is looking very, very good. Okay, set pieces, there are a few concerns once or twice, but in general, from open play, I think it's Nico Riley, Guardiola, and Diaz. These three are looking exceptional. And Matthews Nunez, for 10 minutes he looked world class, and for 1 minute he looked like an absolute piece of shit. Welcome says captain is down, Tarkowski is out, I think. Gautam says this is the chance. Throw Doku and Ford in and attack more. But he will not do that, Gautam. He will bring in Matteo Kovacic for more control. He will bloody bring in Matteo Kovacic for more control. That is what he will do. I mean, I would like to see our total touches inside their half, and it won't be much. Bayer says if we sign two fullbacks, at least one of them must be defensive minded. I think Theo Hernandez would be perfect, to be honest. Fantastic pace, absolutely defensive minded left back. You could turn Theo Hernandez into a Kyle Walker. He has that attitude as well. To be honest, he is. I think with good defensive minded fullbacks, they have that sort of barbaric attitude. If I would say, not in a bad way, but while playing in a good way, where they're absolutely ruthless in the tackle and all of those things. They might not be technically stylish and all, but they're absolutely ruthless. Look at those balls. Absolutely shite. I mean, I'll just say the XG here. The XG will be very, very interesting. Everton City, the XG is similar. Both are 0.34%, 0.34 XG. Three shots, they have had four shots, each one on target. The stats are absolutely similar. It's an Everton free kick, and what a free kick! When do we even put in free kicks like that? Because our free kicks are absolute shite. What a free kick from Line, to be honest. What a run by Kevin De Bruyne. First time in this half, we are putting together one or two passes, and just remove Bernardo Silva is absolute shite. Nico Riley does well. His positioning is very, very good. Everton are looking like they'll score the next goal, to be honest. I mean, zero. It's been 11 minutes. The half has started and zero shots. Absolute shite. Zero attempts. Look at it in the 11 minutes. Zero attempts. Please remove the Holy Trinity. Remove Bernardo Silva, bring on Phil Foden. It's a simple change. I don't know why why they're just relying on long balls. Gautam says Holy Trinity recipe for. I would not say the words Gautam, but for Bernardo Silva, holy recipe, Holy Trinity, a recipe for opponent's Christmas dinner. That's how opponents are feeling whenever they see the Holy Trinity. It's like Santa Claus coming and giving them gifts. Gautam says City wants a draw here. I mean, 13 minutes gone. You're playing to win, and bloody hell, 13 minutes gone. You're playing to win, and bloody hell, not even scoring a single goal. What the? I mean, zero shots on target. Where is Omar Marmoush? Is Omar Marmoush even starting? We are not. I mean, another Everton corner. What the? I think Everton have this half 15 minutes gone. Zero corners, zero free kicks, zero shots into the target. Are we defending here and playing for a nil-nil draw, like Gautam said? Ortega is saved as honestly we should be 3 nil down. At least. City on the counter attack. That's a free kick for City, but Kevin De Bruyne with the free kick. Can he do some magic today? That's the only hope, to be honest. It's been an absolutely boring match, to be honest. But I hope KDB is not going for goal from here. But let's see. Diaz tried to stretch, but it's absolutely useless. I mean, Everton substitutions, and I think Beto is coming on. Absolutely zero attacking intention. The intention itself is not there. Nunez does well. The defensive unit has been very good, but what is the use? Please pass it into the middle of the park. That is well done, Kevin De Bruyne with a heavy touch. Beto is here, and I think Beto will be a much more potent threat than Roja, to be honest. I think it's difficult to get top five for sure. Savinho, Gundogan. Wonderful run from Ikai Gundogan. Ah, ball just not reaching the other member of the Holy Trinity, Bernardo Silva. The pass from De Bruyne is not good there. It as well. Matheus Nunes, Ilkay Gundogan, Josko Guardiol, Savinho. Defensively very organized, but what is the use? City are just growing into the game now. Finally got the word right. Wonderful pass. Didn't see who made it. The defending is very good, but that's all I can say. Savinho. Ah, just seems you can't score a goal here. I think City does want a draw here, to be honest. That's how we're playing. Like, Beto is running through. Beto is running through. Hope we don't concede here, to be honest. Bernardo Silva. I mean, this could be a good move there. Savinho. Gundogan does well to get the ball back. Kevin De Bruyne sends it wide. Ah, Nico O'Reilly has to deal with Dicaure. I think one on one, this will be a test of his skill, to be honest. Jack Harrison, Nico O'Reilly one on one. It went wide for a moment. I thought it might be going in, but yeah. I think Savinho could have played it through a bit earlier on. Should have struck it better. That was the chance. Savinho should have struck it better. That was the bloody chance. It almost seems the game is moving in slow motion, to be honest. Ortega does well to come and collect. I have Pickford and Brunthwaite in my fantasy team and I've kept them out. Obviously, I will because they're playing City, but 14 points lost right then and there. Recovery was offside over there. Brighton gets a red card. Wow. This game is the only game where there's been no red card, I think, and Brighton won, Crystal Palace won, there's a red card. I think us and the West Ham one is where there's been no red card, to be honest. But Nico O'Reilly rescues and a very good ball, but Nico O'Reilly super ball, but sent back to Pickford to be honest. What a ball by Kevin De Bruyne! What a ball by Kevin De Bruyne! Just that Marmoush couldn't reach it. Nico O'Reilly does exceedingly well there. Nico O'Reilly is playing like he's played first team football for the last 10 years. Know what the fuck they were trying to do there, but and no one has any motivation to get it into the box. I think, like Gautam said, we are playing for a draw, and that's it. That's a free kick for Everton there. 77 minutes gone. Gautam says Pep's patience technique is outdated. Now teams have started sitting back and then counter at their will, and we have no answers. And I mean, it's not counter at their will as well. Gautam, I think the biggest change has been that I mean, Arne Slot is a big example of knowing where footballers headed towards. It's almost like, and I see it in Luis Enrique's PSG as well. You know, it's almost like teams now are able to sit back. The same team is able to play possession football. The same team is able to play mid block. So in a game of 90 minutes, especially the top teams like PSG, Liverpool, what they're able to do is play two or three formations, two or three styles, I would say, not even formations, two or three styles, sitting back, sitting in a mid block, counter attacking, all out attack. I mean, they're able to play three or four styles of football in a 90 minutes game. But whereas I think with Pep, it's been we will only play the passing game and that's all. I think that is where the evolution needs to come. That is what it is. You're right. It's out. I wouldn't say it's outdated, but then teams have evolved to switch to different styles and again switch back all in the 90 minutes. JS says time to let Silva and Gundogan go. I think Gundogan cannot go JSK because it seems when Gundogan signed for City at the beginning of the previous summer, there was a clause in his contract that if he plays a certain amount of games, then the contract renewal will automatically trigger. And due to Rodri's injury and stuff, he has already played those games. He has reached those games far ago, and so now a renewal of 1 year is automatically triggered. So and Bernardo Silva will not go. Just like Kyle Walker, he has some private things about Pep, I think. So Bernardo Silva will start even if he drops stinker after stinker after stinker. Jeremy Doku is on, Kovacic is on, and Foden's on, I think. JSK says, why the fuck is Silva starting? $1 million question, JSK, $1 million question. McAtee had a man of the match performance last match against Palace, and Silva is starting. But I would say the answer to this question lies in another question. That the question is why was Kyle Walker starting after putting on stinker after stinker? Hell, why was he the captain even after dropping stinker after stinker? The answer again is to know probably. Who are the players who have come on for City? I haven't actually seen. I know Doku has come on, Kovacic has come on, but who is the other one who's come on? I think it's Foden probably. Savinho goes out, Nico Gonzalez goes out. Okay, it's only two players who have gone on. Kovacic is coming, Doku is coming, but why the hell is he? Yeah, I think Nico Gonzalez and Kovacic, and I think he'll give Gundogan license to go forward. But for me, I don't know why Jack Grealish is not coming on. Absolutely don't know why Jack Grealish is not coming on. To be honest, absolutely have no idea why Jack Grealish is not coming on. Just come in a moment. Sorry for that. Did something happen when I was away? I think something happened with Marmoush probably. I think I've missed it. Gautam, can you say what happened with Marmoush? Because I just think I've missed it probably. Did he miss a sitter? Why the hell are they just playing long balls there? Absolutely no idea. And Everton are in the box, but that is a fantastic tackle there. And that is excellent work there from Nunez. Gautam just Marmos missed a good chance. Then I have to see it back again because he missed it. I thought that was a goal when you wrote Marmos, but then again the symbol was there. Doku again. Kovacic. Gundogan. Bernardo Silva. What a goal! Woo! Nico Riley scores! Wow! Woo! Who gave the assist? I don't know who gave the assist, but what a goal! Nico Riley scores. Nico scored. Woo! What a goal that was! Wow! 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 Woo! But who gave the cross in? The cross in was fantastic, to be honest. The cross in was absolutely fantastic. What a goal scored there from Nico O'Reilly, but then the cross in was fantastic. I think it was Matthews Nunez with the cross. What a goal by Nico O'Reilly. Nunez with the cross. What a goal that is. What Nunez has had a world class game, to be honest. Absolutely world class game, Nunez. The games have started to be very exciting now because I think Brighton have scored a second and it's some of 3-2. Gautam says since subs were made, the energy increased exponentially, especially Doku. Especially Doku. I just think I just think this doesn't work, Gautam. That Bernardo, Gundogan, and Savinho because everyone's a similar kind, right? Bernardo carries the ball and cuts in. Savinho carries the ball and cuts in. I mean, playing Bernardo and Savinho together is almost like if you remember the Community Shield game where both Haaland and Nunez made their debuts and they were comparing Nunez to Haaland and stuff. And City lost that to Liverpool, In that game, Pep played with, I think Pep played with Mahrez and Bernardo, and it was on either side. Or was it? I think it was Grealish and Mahrez, and it was so boring. Playing Savinho and Bernardo just gives you the same effect, to be honest. Now we have to defend well. This is gonna be an almighty defensive this thing. Just be ready. That's what I would say. This is gonna be a nervy last 10 minutes. An absolutely nervy last 10 minutes. Very nervy last 10 minutes. Coutinho says Nico is a bright spot in this rather dull season. Is much more than a spot. Coutinho is a galaxy. He's a shining galaxy in darkness. If you ask me, what a dribble from Marmosa! Just couldn't shoot there at the last minute. Marmos, not your day, man. Not your day. So he's not just been a spot, like I said, he's been a shining light in a galaxy for Pep because FA Cups. FA Cup we were 1-0 down against what was the team? Leighton Orient, and he comes and rescues it. We were 1-0 down against Bournemouth. Nico Riley, absolute masterclass. I think 2 goals there. Here 1-0 down, he rescues it. He scores against Palace, though the game was won by then. So Nico Riley, whenever Pep is in trouble, Nico Riley has come. I mean, when was the last time you have seen Pep start a youngster consistently like this? Not even Foden. Foden first came near the first team in 2017, and it took him 3 full years. I think 2020 was when he 1920. I think that was when he really became a part of this team. So with Nico Riley, it's just almost in 4 5 months. Though you'd say he trained with the first team in glimpses last season, but really I think he's coming to Pep's team super fast. The last time I saw Pep show this much confidence in a youngster is for Eric Garcia, and but he was of La Masia, so the learnings are different there. But JSK says this is PSG's year to win the UCL and Dembele for Ballon d'Or. JSK, whatever you do, guys, I'm sure that none of us want Arsenal to win the league. Sorry, win the Champions League. And when Madrid were playing Arsenal, it was a difficult conundrum because I don't. What a triple by Doku, 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 Doku. This time Doku gave the final ball as well. It's just that the Everton players were there. Branthwaite, what an intelligent defender he is. But I think Branthwaite would be a perfect replacement for John Stones. But if you listen to the price quoted by Everton for Branthwaite, Franz Beckenbauer's great grandfather will wake up from his grave in astonishment. That's how much they're quoting for him. I think the ball just went out over there. JSK says we should have gone for Dembele, to be honest. Barca was problem. The ball went out anyway there. With Again with Dembele, it's actually interesting because a lot of attitude problem was the one. When City select players, even though the skill is a bit less, I've heard they check the attitude, the personality a bit more. So everyone will cry everyone will cry if this goes to a goal because it clearly went out. We need Jack. Where is Jack? We need Jack Grealish. We absolutely need Jack Grealish. Jeremy Doku. Or one more goal can just finish this off. The matches have suddenly turned interesting. All the matches are on the edge. Omar, what a goal! Woo! Mateo Kovacic scores! Wow! What a goal from Mateo Kovacic that is. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And that is game, set, and match. What a goal, game, set, and match so that we can enjoy the last 5 minutes, to be honest. What a goal that is. What a goal that is from Mateo Kovacic. Why doesn't he start Kovacic, Gundogan, and Gonzalez, Kovacic, and Gundogan? Gundogan with the assist. Game, set, and match. No need to go through. I mean, we can enjoy. To be honest. Omar Marmoush, does he want a goal as well? Bayaji says subs running have a deja vu goal for Kova from the last game. But how does he even score those, off balance and everything? Again, I think if Bernardo hasn't started and he would have started with Doku, I think this game would have been wrapped up long back. Look at what Jeremy Doku is doing here. Absolutely fantastic. Everton defense is not able to live with them. Just imagine Doku running like that, Marmoush making those runs, and Kevin De Bruyne having space to make those passes. But no, I want Bernardo Silva. At any cost, I want Bernardo Silva. Kovacic, Marmoush. It's interesting. West Ham, Southampton have scored in 90 plus 3 literally. Wow. The ties have come alive. Brentford hanging on against Brighton. I think at the beginning, till the 90th minute, it looked all the other ties were one sided and our tie was going towards a team draw. But now our tie is looking one sided and all the other ties are like, hanging on. Why this says we scored only after we upped the pace of the attack. And why did we up the pace of the attack? Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity are not together. The Holy Trinity were separated. The Holy Trinity were separated. De Bruyne went. I don't blame this on De Bruyne, but the Holy Trinity cannot play together. That's the reasoning. By says no matter whom Pep signs, but Nico Riley must be starting last season. One thing I have to give credit to Pep is you pick up an attacking midfielder from the academy, play him as a box to box midfielder, even as a DM, and then what a save from Ortega. I think we must not forget Ortega's performance in this game. Fantastic. Otherwise, we should have been 2-0 down. The Tarkowski header and another save in the second half. We should have been 2-0 down. Let us not forget Ortega in all of these things, in all of this. David Moyes speaking with Pep there. Gautam says, imagine selling Nico to Chelsea. You might as well lease the academy to Chelsea as well, and you can collect monthly payment risk free from Chelsea with no pressure telling you to play the kids. That would be just shut down the academy and tell no, we don't sign young kids. If you sell Nico to Chelsea, why this is I mean next season Nico is a diamond. He is a diamond in the dust, and Pep has just sparkled him, but I just think Nico in that midfield role, I don't think he would have been that effective as he has been effective in this full back role. The reason being, this is excellent from Pep because once he gave Nico that full back role, he's even changed the system. It means wingers. You have narrow wingers, which means Nico Riley has the entire wing to himself. Now Nico is going into the midfield. Nico has permission to run up and down, put crosses in, make runs into the box. Pep has in fact freed Nico here. So credit to Pep as well. He's freed Nico here. You could easily play Nico Riley in that midfield and say that it is all tight in there and everything. So credit to Pep as well for putting him in that position. Gautam's is a well fought win, a great win. Now we can enjoy the weekend as well. Bayagis has gone are the days of looking vulnerable around 70th minute. I think by the defense has become stronger. I mean, the moment you moved Josko Guardiola to centre back, the defense is looking much stronger. Now my worry is, will he move Josko Guardiola back to left back? I mean, sorry, back to left back, and will he bring Akanji in the middle? I think Josko Guardiola is looking perfect in that centre back role. The defense, along with the goalkeeper, have been superb today. Absolutely fantastic. The three people. Diaz, Guardiol, I mean the entire backline, I would say Nico Riley, Nunez. I mean fullbacks have been our best creative players. Matthew, look at them. Akanji pushing Nico Riley to the fans and stuff. Wow. But Nunez had a world class game. O'Reilly had a world class game. Ortega had a world class game. Diaz and Guardiola were very stable. So you look at the entire defense. I think the minimum rating will be 8, 8.5 today. Very good. Again, Marmos didn't have anything. The wingers were shit and useless until Doku came on. The midfield was shit. De Bruyne had tried, but again, the midfield was absolutely shit. There was nothing in there. And the reason for us looking solid is the midfield. I'm sorry, is the defense. I think because before this, Guardiola was at left back, and I don't think Akanji and Stones can play together. I think Akanji and Diaz as well. I think I don't know. It's not as it looks shaky, but Guardiola has actually strengthened that defense. JSK says, by the way, if we sign Morgan Gibbs White, entire transfer management needs to be sacked. I mean, Jack Gone of Daily Mail had said that he is he's our number one target for he's a number one target for that eight role. I don't know why. What did they say in Nico? Sorry, what did they say in Morgan Gibbs White? I just do not know. Bayer says Nico's physicality is perfect for a midfielder. I think he almost could be dare. I don't say that, but this is almost a second coming of Yaya Toure, if you ask me. Nico Riley can be that good. The way he runs into the box, the way he manages the ball, the way he dribbles with the ball. Superb from Nico Riley, everything. Bayaji says yes, Morgan Gibbs White will be a downgrade. Let him be a downgrade, Bayaji, but he will be an expensive, shitty downgrade. I mean, what I say might age well and we might sign him, he might be super, but at least at this point of time, he will be an expensive, shitty downgrade because if you want a number 8, go for Tejani Reinders, who is available for 60 million. Go for Hugo Larson, who is available for 60 million. Go for Shuamini, whom Madrid will sell for around 60-65 million. There are so many options. Go not Shuamini, I'm sorry. Go for Camavinga, who Madrid will sell for 60-65 million. Adam Wharton is available for around 70-75 million. I don't know what they see in Morgan Gibbs, but I absolutely do not know. This is interesting. Brentford were 3-2 up and now they're 4-2 up. Uh, anyway, been a wonderful match, guys. What a match this was again. Thought it was boring, but at the end, it seemed out to be really exciting. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Enjoy your weekend and see you all again. The next match, I think we have another match in midfield. Sorry, in the midweek, Aston Villa versus City. This time I'll try to do that match because that match will be the decider. It's the running and it will be the decider. To be honest, for the top four. Bayer says Reinders, Words, and Rodri would be a uh, Reinders, Words, and Rodri would be a dream come true midfield. It will be an elite midfield by Ajay Rodri, the Ballon d'Or, the best in the world at DM. Tejani Reinders, complete midfielder. I was just seeing the way he holds the ball, the way he takes the ball, the way he turns with the ball, the way he dribbles with the ball. His shots are out of this world. Tejani Reinders is a complete midfielder at 23 years, 24 years. You're getting a complete midfielder in Tejani Reinders. and is having that since he's played in the Italian league, he's having that Italian panache in defending. If you say Tijani Reinders is a 2x powered Ikai Gundogan regeneration region. So Tijani and Florian Wirtz would just complete it. To be honest, wow. If not Florian Wirtz, I'm even happy with someone like a Xavi Simons in there. I think he could probably do a job. I want Oscar Bob on the right, Haaland in the middle, Omar Marmoush on the left. Both are narrow wingers, I think. So that would actually complete the attacking lineup, and the defensive lineup selects itself. Probably you buy a good right back, yes. In Andrea Cambiaso, who's coming, who can play both right and left. I think we signed Reinders and we signed Florian Wirtz. Probably think and Andrea Cambiaso we're already signing. It would just be uh, this thing. Counting is good luck for your MI versus CSK match tomorrow. I just hope Gandhinia they don't prepare a pitch like what they did versus SRH, because then we will be doomed. The cure that then if they prepare a pitch like that, that will be the last day of the curator, not just in Bombay but in India probably. If he prepares a black soil pitch. But anyway, it's all related to how City is doing. The City was doing shit, and when MI played the first four matches, and MI was doing shit. Now City came into form, and MI came into form. It's all correlated so much. Like I've seen, I think it was in the 2019 campaign. I think MI won the title and City won the title. Both lifted the title at exactly the same time. I almost had to see it on not a split screen, but I had to switch between the tabs then. That's how much, I don't know why it is, that's how much of a correlation they have. And I'll tell you another correlation which is very interesting. I don't remember the year, but in that year, I think it was Jose Mourinho's, you know, I think it was 2017. Yeah, 2017, that year Centurion season. City went to United. Sterling misses 3-4 chances, if you remember. City were 3-0 up. And on the parallel, MI scored 180, 190, and CSK were first match of the IPL, and CSK were around 90 for 6, 90 for 7, with roughly 8 overs to go. It was impossible match. City had to win. City were 2-0, 3-0 up, and MI had to win. And in the second half, what happened was Dwayne Bravo scores an excellent 70, and United come back and win that match 4-3. If you guys don't see a correlation even after this, then I don't know, but extremely correlated how MI and City play. I don't know why it is. Probably they're wearing the same blue jersey. I just don't know. Bayaj says Foden's form has put Pep in a soup. I think Bayaj, there was this debate on Foden's form, to be honest. But my take on this is the guy, since he's come into the first team, roughly I would say around 2019 or so, 2020, in these 5 years, in these 5 years, he's actually been out of form just this year. So I think you can allow that. There will be a dip in form. So my take on that is this. Baya says, as per tradition, City looking to end the season on a high. Only the difference this time it's about CL spot instead of the title. Feels different, but the running feels more exciting than a title race this time. Anyway, guys, just enjoy the weekend, and Bayaji, all the best to you. And I hope RR and I hope RR win. And anyway, thank you, Gautam, Kandinya, Bayaji, and JSK for joining me. It's been wonderful and exciting. You all have kept the spirits up during a dull, boring first 70 minutes, and then we've enjoyed the rest of the time together. Anyway, see you all, guys.